Hello, my name is Scuria-Herman, and today I'll be checking out Snail Zero by Aesop. Here's the thing about Snail Zero. Well, I don't know anything about Snail Zero at first, and I am going to leave timestamps because I do understand that some people don't care about discussion like this, but I believe that when discussing this, the morality of it has to come up. I'm taking an artificial intelligence class currently. I am in a creative field. The idea of an AI music video is sort of contradictory to my raison d'etre. I looked at the title, I looked at the thumbnail, and I sort of skipped past it multiple times because I was like, do I want to, look at this? Do I want to check this out? Or is that really something that I want to do? Do I want to look at an AI music video? I think, because I'm not someone that says AI is completely untouchable. I believe AI can have a use in society. I don't believe it belongs in creative fields. I've used AI not to produce anything really, but to sort of test how it works. Again, I'm in an artificial intelligence class, and it's very abusable, I've found. But beyond that, it's not good at creative works. I could just say that pretty confidently. So I don't want to be critical of this. I haven't seen it, but an AI music video, the concept of that feels very, antithetical to what the point of this is in the first place. But I am going to try to keep an open mind because I could be wrong, and I want to experience it. I want to try it out. I want to learn more about it. So I know that's not what people are clicking on this video necessarily to see, but I think it's worthwhile to have that sort of discussion when thinking about AI. Are there I don't believe there's lyrics, so I'm gonna have to look at the lyrics too. Let me pull those up. And hopefully it is not Genius. If you are new to this channel, just know that I do not like Genius. Snail Zero lyrics. They have a version that's not Genius. Incredible. Okay. All is right with the world. I don't even care that this is AI anymore. Okay. Also, I will say, even though my main thing here, if you're new here, is lyrical analysis, since this is an AI music video, I am going to be focusing, at least I feel like I am, going to be focusing on the visuals a lot, and maybe being critical of it, just as a warning, because I feel like it's going to be unavoidable for me to discuss that. Just letting you know if that's not your thing or anything.
Lady moved in, I picked her up a gift. A miniature aquarium and trip to get some.
AI animation just looks so wrong. Because obviously, I looked at the first sentence of this. There's a certain style inputted in this, and I'm sorry, I was really trying to hold back. You could probably see in my face. It's just, I believe there's a style that they're using that I think looks fine. This still. Here's the thing. This still right here looks fine because it's very artistic. It's very stylized. But the movement,
we moved in, I picked her up a gift.
That
a miniature aquarium and trip to get some fish.
Especially the cashier, it just looks so off. It looks so inhuman, and it just, so it's skeevy. That's a word. It just feels wrong innately on an innate human, mental, biological level. It just feels wrong. I'm gonna try to pay attention to the lyrics, but it's just, I don't know, it's just the way this moved back here. Also, this sort of artifacting on the buildings as it moves. It just, I don't know.
My lady moved in, I picked her up a gift. A miniature aquarium and trip to get some fish. 3 green tetras, 1 scarlet baddis, and a touch of plant life. Some live, some plastic. Got the stuff home, put it in the tank. Everyone is thriving, it's a lively little gang. A few weeks pass when, plain and clear, I hear, oh my god, there's a snail in here.
I really don't like the AI. I'm sorry, because I know this person went to the effort of creating it. I don't know how much effort is efforted in making an AI video, but I just... the inconsistency in the style is from like this that I was complimenting to this. I feel like it's apparent. The fact that the girl changed from this frame, she's not there yet, but this frame to this frame to this frame. The fact that they're making who I assume to be Aesop look like Jesus. That creepy thing. My lady moved in, I picked her up a gift, a miniature aquarium, and a trip to get some fish. 3 green tetras, 1 scarlet batis. I haven't heard of that before. And a touch of plant life, some live, some plastic. Okay, I know this song isn't about artificial intelligence, especially. It came out this year? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, most of the ones that I've been listening to it came out 20 years ago. So, that's my mistake. But a touch of plant life, some plastic, in reference to this video specifically, is very ironic, because this is a video that's devoid of life innately from the artistic expression of the lack of life in it. Because this is in essence lifeless. Okay, I know I shouldn't be, but removing the eyes from the... Eyes are one of the most expressive features of a human body, and removing them here is a deliberate choice, because I don't know if it's a deliberate choice, but in effect it creates a disconnect so strongly. I don't know why someone would choose to do this, but specifically right here, what it's done is it's created this inhumanity. It separates the... I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop. But it bothers me. Especially with that line, a touch of some plant life, some live, some plastic. The live in this video is the lyrics. The plastic is this. Got the stuff home, put it in the tank, everyone is thriving, it's a lively little gang. A few weeks pass, all plain and clear, and I hear, oh my god, there's a snail in here. Okay, let's see what the snail's about.
What? I feel as if she's gotta be mistaken, as we do not have a snail. Granted, she knows what a snail is. I make my way over in position for the glare. I'm looking at a snail that wasn't previously there. I feel I'm being pranked, but if magic is the reason, then really I think it's great. My girl on her computer reading pranks, but if magic is the reason, then really...
That's horrifying. Especially because the way the art style is, there shouldn't even be any face down there. I don't know. It's just freaking me out. Sorry, I'll try to pay attention to lyrics.
And then really I think it's great. My girl on her computer reading acts, but if magic is the reason, then really I think it's great.
What happened? He became a completely different character here. Okay, I promise, until the end of this verse, I'm not going to mention anything about the art at all. If you could call it art.
My girl on her computer reading animal facts. A snail egg can hitch a ride into your tank on a plant.
It hurt, but I didn't mention anything for the rest of that verse. What? I feel as if she's got to be mistaken, as we do not have a snail. Granted, she knows what a snail is. I make my way over in position for the glare. I'm looking at a snail that wasn't previously there. I feel like I'm being pranked. But if magic is the reason, then really I think it's great. My girl on her computer reading animal facts. A snail egg can hitch a ride into your tank on a plant. Now when I heard this line, when I heard this line, it stuck out to me. Maybe because I was thinking about the AI. But look at that line, then pair it back with the earlier line, and a touch of plant life, some live, some plastic. It was fine replacing all the plant life with plastic, it's more convenient. But then an unintended consequence of this plant life, this decision you made with the plant life, brought in an invasive species into your tank. Some unwanted consequence of cutting corners. I'm not trying to superimpose themes on this. It was created, this song, this year. So with everything going on, I feel like that's very direct, but you're up to your own interpretation. I just feel like it's very ironic that of all the Aesop Rock songs I've heard, this song specifically that I'm getting these themes from is the one that there was an AI music video that I've seen of. So.
There's more. I'm looking at the snail. He seems pretty pleasant. We figure let him kick it, as honestly shit's impressive. A couple weeks pass, I hear another gasp. 7 more snails have appeared on the glass. How? Determined to identify the guests when I stumble on a column of common invasive pests, and boom, the number 1 offender on the pile, the bladder snail, known as stowaway and multiply.
I'm looking at the snail, he seems pretty pleasant. We figured let him kick it, as honestly, it's impressive. A couple weeks pass, I hear another gasp. 7 more snails have appeared on the glass. How? Determined to identify the guests when I stumble on a column of common invasive pests, and boom, the number 1 offender on the pile, the bladder snail, known to stow away and multiply. Okay. Maybe you want me to get this up, but let's connect it to 2 other lines. We see, and a touch of plant life, some live, some plastic. We go to a snail like can hitch a ride into your tank on a plant. Then we see that he's ignoring that the snail, he's just saying, oh, the snail's fine, he can kick it. He's cool. I mean, he got here himself. Then it becomes a more serious problem right under your nose, but you're ignoring it. You're letting it just happen. Because it's impressive. Look at it. Look at all the things it could do. There's corruption and overwriting of what is supposed to be there. You notice how he hasn't mentioned the fish since the first verse? Meanwhile, that's what the tank is for. I think it could be tied to a lot of social issues, not just the AI aspect. I think this could be tied to ignoring a lot of current political events and stuff like that and letting it just unfold because you feel like it's not going to affect you. I think this has deeper meaning that permeates a lot of aspects of life, not just this specific aspect of unlife.
Plus it's self-compatible hermaphrodite. That means the kids will never have to hear the parents fight. We went away for a week, came home to a scene. Snail population up in the teens. This was weeks ago already, it's been getting extreme. We are well over 30, but murder isn't my thing. While the fish have been patient, the situation's a bummer. They be staring at the snails, then staring at each other like...
Plus his I'm not going to mention the whole eyes in the back of the head. I saw it. I was going to say something, but you know what? Plus a self-compatible hermaphrodite. That means the kids will never have to hear the parents fight. We went away for a week, came home to a scene. Snail population up in the teens. This was weeks ago already, but it's been getting extreme. We are well over 30, but murder isn't my thing. While the fish have been patient, the situation's a bummer. They be staring at the snails and staring at each other like... Here's the thing. This verse is about asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is very common in nature, but if we're looking at an aspect of life versus unlife, we're looking at an aspect of humanocentric life. Humanocentric life would rely on sexual reproduction, and the asexual reproduction is the antithesis to that. Same with fish. The fish don't asexually reproduce, at least not most of them. I just watched a video about the sneaker male in the brass fish something. that video is not going to come out because of copyright issues, and I embarrassed myself heavily in that, so it's probably for the best. But I completely forgot what I was saying. But the asexual reproduction, I don't believe it's it's a representation of this specific snail species or plant life or other things that asexually reproduce. I think it's a representation of a distinct lack of life, because reproduction is such a very core part of life and the continuation of life, that the removal of it and the contortion of it is so distinct. So I feel like that's a metaphor. I don't feel like it's just normal asexual reproduction.
Look, I guess I don't know how to shut the door when Snail Zero's been here as long as the other four. I get the reputation as a blight on the tank, but I ain't shoveling no matter what they rightfully claim. Even if I was able to one day snag them and bail.
Here's the thing about that verse specifically. It has a lot of, it very much does not fit with the sort of message I was saying about AI specifically. You could apply it to other social issues, but just because the idea of AI is relatively new, even though you can tie it back to Babbage and stuff from like the 19th century, but beyond that, the LLMs and the way that we know them now is not very much like that. Yeah, so here he's saying like, this is the obvious choice. This is the obvious choice that I'm not doing because I don't feel like it makes sense to. He goes on with that. Look, I guess I don't know how to shut the door when Snail Zero's been here as long as the other four. That's what's going against the AI metaphor, because that's not true. You could say that there's a parable for 1619. That whole project, I'm learning about that right now. I would not really say that, just because that's a very poignant line that is almost exactly verbatim in 1619. But with all the other references towards the snail being parasitic and outnumbering the fish, that's more looking at great replacement, which is not a good metaphor for 1619. So that's why I'm sort of hesitant to sort of put other social issues onto this song. I get the reputation as a blight on the tank, but I ain't shoveling them out what they rightfully claim, even if I was able to one day snag them and bail. Here's the thing. It's getting harder to really put a theme onto this song. And I'm not saying that like, oh, how dare you, Aesop, make this confusing. No, I think this is just contradictory, and I don't see how it fits in with the rest of the song yet, with my interpretation of it thus far. You could say that this is a sort of denial, and this is sort of his explanation to not take action here. But I think since we're getting these claims put to us in such an authoritative manner, I think it's hard to distinguish whether or not we're supposed to believe this.
Back full of snails. Oh, here comes crazy old Lacy holding his back full of snails. He also bark at the traffic and drink his tap from a grill. Not doing it. I love those fish. I love those snails. Coexist. I think about the day it eventually overflows and fills the whole apartment and fills the whole of Rome. A reckoning is upon us. A decision must prevail. A sensible rehoming or snails.
It's gonna autoplay the next video. I'll go back. Now I'm getting AI ads, so that's good. That's gonna be in my search history now. I mean, you probably saw, but near the end he pulls out the coexist sticker. I really hope that this isn't a metaphor for racial issues, because even here with the AI, it shows the snails being an invasive species. That's very much not what you want to do, not what you want, how you want to characterize, inclusion as an invasive species that takes over everything. Again, that's looking like great replacement. So while I do feel like this video might be pushing me in the direction of, racial coexistence and band together, I don't think the original song is saying that, just because of all the negative undertones of it. It feels like it would be a weird choice to make this about race, because we start off if you're looking at 1619 specifically, we're looking at someone who was brought here against its will. This is an invasive species, meaning it is its point to populate areas in which it's not supposed to. That's sort of... it's some undertones that you shouldn't put on a sort of coexist narrative. I don't know. I can't get past the visuals, and I think that the song, the most of it, except for the last two verses, is very much treading a line of anti-AI. I would want to know what Aesop thinks about AI. According to Reddit, a lot of people in the song view it as humorous, but at the same time have a negative perception of the snails. Meaning, I do not believe that this has anything to do with racial issues, because if it is, again, that's not the kind of reaction you want. So I'm gonna assume that that's just this guy's perception of it, because that coexist sticker really threw me off. So, besides that one coexist sticker, there's no reference to this song being about racial issues. And I think it's better. I'll be honest, I think it's better not putting that on it, because that's going to have some weird undertones. That's going to put some weird messaging behind it that I do not think anyone would agree with. Or at least anyone should agree with. I do think that the song was funny, because a lot of people said it was humorous. I do think the song was funny. I guess I couldn't really delve into the humor because of the AI, and that's sort of what framed my negative perception of it. I do think it's a good song as a whole. And it's interesting how little the sound has changed, because I didn't recognize this was from current year. But yeah. What do you think? Do you think that this song is about race? Do you think the song is about artificial intelligence? Do you think the song is about grander social issues beyond either of those two, or encompassing either of those two? Or do you think it doesn't have to be about anything? It's, you know, Kirby. It's about just like cool animal. Wow, that's so cool. Do you think there needs to be a deeper explanation? Do you think there doesn't need to be? Let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah. I don't know. I don't have any other thoughts beyond what I've said. I think that creativity should come from the self. And I think when the tool overrides the self, then it's no longer a tool and it's the creator. And I think when the creator isn't human, I think it no longer becomes an artistic creation. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. If you like AI, I don't really have anything against you. I just respectfully don't really. I don't. I'm going to stop rambling and say until next time. Adieu.